You ever had your morning coffee and thought, you know what really spiced this up? Getting dragged into an all-out suburban war over snow shoveling. No. Well, that's how I kicked off my first winter in what I thought was the perfect neighborhood, a sleepy little corner outside Milwaukee where folks wave from porches and the trees actually look like something out of a Norman Rockwell painting. I know you're thinking, what could go wrong? Let me tell you more than you'd think. Because the thing nobody tells you when you buy your slice of the American dream is sometimes your neighbor isn't just your neighbor. Sometimes she's the self-appointed dictator of your tiny kingdom. Sometimes she's Sharon. The whole mess started in December. First real snow of the season, just enough to sugarcoat the lawns. I'm out there at the crack of dawn, shovel in hand, steam from my breath swirling in the air. It's peaceful, one of those moments that almost tricks you into thinking home ownership is all it's cracked up to be. And then I hear it slicing through the calm like a car alarm at 2 a.m. Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. What do you think you're doing? Now, if you've never seen a 40-something woman in a puffer coat storm across the street like she's got a warrant for your arrest, you're missing out. She's got this look, eyebrows drawn so tight it's like she's been training for this confrontation all her life. I tell her the truth. Shoveling my driveway. You'd think I'd confess to a felony. Apparently there's a rule, because of course there's a rule. No snow removal before 9 a.m. on weekdays, 10 a.m. on weekends. I'm standing there holding a plastic shovel that makes less noise than my own feet on the pavement, staring at a PDF on her phone like it's a sacred text. She tells me I'm Sharon, the HOA president. First offense is a warning. Next time it's $50. And it only goes up from there. She spins on her heel and marches back home, which, lucky me, is right across from mine. I just stand there in the half-light surrounded by unshoveled snow, feeling like I'd accidentally wandered into a sitcom about HOA horror stories, only it wasn't a sitcom. And it sure as hell wasn't funny, not yet. Let me tell you, Sharon took her job seriously. Patrolling in her white SUV, jotting down infractions like she was getting paid per violation. If someone left their trash can out too long, fine. Christmas lights after December 27th, fine. Lawn an inch too high, double fine. And every time it snowed, I'd have to sit inside, coffee in hand, watching the flakes pile up and telling myself to be patient. Because you don't mess with Sharon's rules. You ever meet someone who's convinced they're the hero of their own story? That's Sharon. But to the rest of us, she was more like the boss level you can't beat. I tried to ask around, see if maybe there was a secret rebellion brewing. My next-door neighbor, Frank, who's been here since before the first tree took root, just shrugged and said, "You get used to it." Anyone who ever challenged Sharon got buried, sometimes literally under citations. Most just gave up or moved away. I guess I could have taken that as a warning, but I'm stubborn. And frankly, something about that snow removal rule just got under my skin. I mean, what if there's an emergency? What if you need to get out before 9? Frank told me try the next HOA meeting. Just don't expect much. So I prepped my case. I wasn't out to start a revolution. Just, maybe move the start time up a little. 7 a.m. Not outrageous, right? I marked the meeting date on my calendar and started rehearsing my reasonable guy speech. But January brought storms that laughed in the face of our quaint little rule. We're talking mountains of snow, the kind that blocks mailboxes, traps cars, makes you question your life choices. One day I went out at 8:30 hoping to get a jump start. I'm not 2 shovels in before Sharon appears, clipboard in hand, like I summoned her by saying her name 3 times. Second violation. That'll be $100. I try to argue mail carrier can't even reach my box. Mail comes at noon. Plenty of time after 9. She's already scribbling away, completely immune to reason. That was the breaking point. You ever reach a moment where you stop trying to fight back and decide, fine, I'll play your stupid game, but I'm playing to win? That was me. I went inside, poured myself a stiff drink, and started reading those HOA bylaws like they were a treasure map. Here's the loophole. The rules banned snow removal before 9, but nowhere did it say you had to remove snow at all. As long as you weren't creating a public nuisance, whatever that means, you were good. And nuisance was left deliciously vague. So I hatched a plan, one that was petty, sure, but perfectly legal. See, my driveway's got this weird angle thanks to the previous owner. And the school bus for Pine Ridge Elementary passes by every morning right when I used to shovel. If my driveway stayed full of snow and ice, especially at the curb, And if my car just happened to be parked at the edge, well, let's just say the bus was going to have a rough time. HOA meeting day comes. I show up with bylaws in hand, nerves jangling. Sharon's up front holding court. We get to the open forum. I raise my hand. I think the 9 a.m. rule is unreasonable, I say, voice steady. Why not 7 a.m.? Sharon doesn't even blink. It's about noise, she says, and the rule applies to everyone. No exceptions. I suggest a vote, she shoots me down. Board sets the rules. Submit a formal proposal if you want to change anything. I sit seething as the meeting plods on. Frank meets me in the parking lot. Nice try, he says. But Sharon, she's dug in deep. I go home and draft that formal proposal anyway, but I've got my backup plan. I go door to door for signatures. I need 9. Get 7 close, but not enough. Then on cue, the big storm hits. 14 inches, the kind of snow that makes you wonder why you ever left California. The plows come. The end of my driveway becomes a fortress wall. And I sit inside, sipping my coffee, waiting for the clock to hit 9. 8:15 school bus rolls down the street slow as molasses. 8:30 I park my Subaru right at the edge, just so. 9 o'clock I stroll outside and clear only my walkway. Sharon shows up sputtering. Your car's blocking the street. Nope, I say, showing her the municipal code. Perfectly legal. And I'm allowed to shovel now, but hey, walkway comes first. She stalks off beaten but not defeated. Next morning, more ice, more snow, more chaos. The bus can't get through. Driver stuck behind parents late for work, Sharon pounding on my door. You're creating a hazard. Just following the rules, I tell her. Want me to break them? Didn't think so. The neighbors start paying attention. One by one they come out, realize this is all because of a rule that helps no one. It's a beautiful thing watching the tide turn. Eventually, Sharon fines me for public disturbance $500. I call a lawyer. Turns out she's not just wrong, she's so wrong it's laughable. My lawyer Patricia drafts a letter so sharp it could cut glass. We threaten to sue and suddenly the board wants to talk. Meanwhile, every time it snows, I wait till 9, then go to work. The school bus gets blocked. Parents complain, people start showing up at meetings demanding change. Someone even starts a Facebook group. Before you know it, the cracks are showing. The HOA caves, they offer to rescind the fine if I stop blocking the bus. I counter-change the rule to 7 a.m. They haggle. We settle on 7. And at the next meeting, Sharon's forced to announce the change herself. There's actual applause. But she doesn't stop. Suddenly, I'm getting fines for my trash can being out, my house numbers being too low, you name it. Patricia tells me to document everything. If Sharon wants a war, I'm ready. Then comes the real twist. I come home one day to find a lien notice, $3,000 in bogus fines. Patricia goes through the paperwork, spots outright fraud. We file suit alleging harassment, selective enforcement, you name it. The news catches wind. Turns out HOA drama is irresistible TV. Suddenly I'm doing interviews. The HOA is on blast, Sharon's getting hate mail, and the management company opens an investigation. Then the real hammer drops. A detective calls there's a criminal investigation. Turns out over $160,000 in fines has just disappeared. The DA's office digs in, finds embezzlement, shell companies, all sorts of sketchy transfers. The whole thing goes to trial. I testify. Sharon and her right hand, Brenda, are convicted, prison time, restitution, banned from ever running an HOA again. Frank gets elected president. Half the stupid bylaws disappear. And for the first time, the neighborhood starts to feel like an actual community. People wave and smile for real. Frank and I start a regular poker night. I finally get to clear my driveway at whatever time I want, coffee in hand, the sun just barely up. Sometimes neighbors glance out at the noise, but then they grin and give a thumbs up because we all remember what it was like before. Funny thing, my little fight ended up making Pine Ridge Estates more popular. House prices went up. People liked the reforms, the transparency. Even the bus driver sent me a thank you card after the trial. Said she'd put up with Sharon's complaints for years. Now she's got a new route, no more hassle. Once a prosecutor told me my case started a statewide conversation about HOA accountability. New laws got kicked around. All because one guy just wanted to shovel his driveway a little early. Looking back, yeah, it was stressful. Yeah, it cost time and money. But it proved something. Sometimes the best way to fight a stupid rule is to follow it so literally, so perfectly, that the whole system grinds to a halt. Malicious compliance, it's not just petty revenge. It's civil disobedience for the modern age. I still keep a folder of news clippings in my desk drawer. Not because I'm proud of being that guy from the HOA story, but as a reminder, if you stand up to petty tyrants, document everything and push back, you might actually win. Or at the very least, you'll force everyone else to see how ridiculous things have gotten. These days, my driveway's the first one cleared every winter. I'm a little obsessed, I'll admit it. Frank and the other neighbors sometimes come out to help just because they want to, not because they're scared of a fine. The Facebook group is all block parties and lost dog alerts now. Feels like a place where people actually care. Oh, and Sharon's old house sold to a nice young couple. I never told them the history. Why spoil the surprise? They wave when they see me out at Sunrise Coffee in one hand, shovel in the other. Sometimes I wonder if Sharon, sitting in her cell, ever thinks about how different things could have been. Probably not. If you're dealing with your own Sharon document, everything know your rights and don't be afraid to push back. If all else fails, just follow their rules so perfectly that the system breaks under its own weight. Sometimes that's exactly what needs to happen. So what do you think? Was I wrong to fight back, or was that the only way to get real change? Ever had to stand up to a petty tyrant in your own neighborhood? Let me know. I'd love to hear your story. Maybe we can swap snow removal tips or battle scars.